Just then, she saw her friend Aman talking to the teacher. Aman looked sad and worried. Aman said, "I lost my new pencil. It was my favorite one." Ria immediately understood that the pencil belonged to Aman. She felt a little sorry, but she decided to do the right thing. She went to Aman and, holding out the pencil, said, "Aman, is this your pencil?" Aman's eyes lit up with joy. He said, "Yes. Thank you so much, Ria." Ria smiled too. She felt a warm glow of pride and happiness inside because she knew she had done the right thing. Moral: truthfulness and honesty are the greatest treasures. Climbed onto the leaf. With all her strength, Annie pushed the leaf toward the shore. After some time, the butterfly reached dry land safely. The butterfly rested her wings and smiled. "Thank you, little ant," she said. "I will never forget your kindness." A few days later, Annie was carrying food back to her home when a hungry bird suddenly flew down. Annie was frightened and could not move. Just then, the butterfly appeared and flew around the bird's eyes. The bird became confused and flew away. Annie looked up at the butterfly and smiled. She understood that kindness always comes back. She learned that even the smallest creature can do great things by being brave and kind. Moral: kindness and courage matter more than strength. Once upon a time, near a river and grass, lived a tiny ant named Annie. Annie was very small, but she was known for her kind heart and hardworking nature. Every day, she carried food crumbs that were bigger than her own body. One bright morning, as Annie walked along the riverbank, she heard a weak voice crying, "Help! Please help me." Annie looked around and saw a beautiful butterfly trapped in the water. Her colorful wings were wet, and she could not fly. The water was moving fast, and the butterfly was very scared. Even though Annie was tiny, she did not lose hope. She quickly found a dry leaf, pushed it into the water, and shouted, "Climb onto the leaf. I will help you." The butterfly slowly climbed onto the leaf. With all her strength, Annie pushed the leaf toward the shore. After some time, the butterfly reached dry land safely. The butterfly rested her wings and smiled. "Thank you, little ant," she said. "I will never forget your kindness." A few days later, Annie was carrying food back to her home when a hungry bird suddenly flew down. Annie was frightened and could not move. Just then, the butterfly appeared and flew around the bird's eyes. The bird became confused and flew away. Annie looked up at the butterfly and smiled. She understood that kindness always comes back. She learned that even the smallest creature can do great things by being brave and kind. Moral: kindness and courage matter more than strength. One sunny and windy afternoon, a little boy named Arush went to the park to fly his new kite. The kite was red, blue, and yellow, and it danced in the sky. When Arush pulled the string, he heard a little voice. "Hey, please don't pull so hard." Arush looked up. "Who said that?" "It's me, your kite," said the kite softly. "If you pull too hard, I might tear." Arush laughed. "Wow, a talking kite." The kite swayed gently and said, "I fly best when you are gentle. Being rough doesn't help." So Arush loosened the string a little, and the kite flew even higher. "Wow," said Arush. "You are flying so well now." The kite smiled. Just like flying a kite, life is better with patience. Suddenly, a strong wind blew the kite toward a tree, but Arush stayed calm. He moved the string slowly and guided the kite safely away. By evening, the kite came down safely. "Thank you for listening," said the kite. "You learned something special today." Arush smiled. "Yes, being gentle and patient makes everything better." The next day, Arush taught his friends how to fly kites calmly too. And high in the sky, the talking kite smiled quietly. Moral for kids: be gentle and patient, with your toys, with others, and with yourself. Good things come with a calm heart. Tina loved to paint. She had brushes, colors, and a big empty canvas, waiting for her next masterpiece. One sunny morning, she decided to paint a beautiful rainbow. She dipped her brush in red, then yellow, then blue. But something didn't seem right. The colors smudged, and the rainbow looked messy. "Oh no, I can't do this," Tina said in disappointment and put the brush down. Her grandmother, who was watching, smiled and said, "Tina, even the best artists don't get it perfect the first time. Practice makes your art shine." Tina frowned, but she decided to try again. She painted and painted. Some days her rainbow looked messy, some days better, but she never gave up. Finally, after many attempts, Tina painted a rainbow that was bright, colorful, and just as she had imagined. She stepped back and smiled proudly. "See," said Grandma, "trying again and again, even when it's hard, makes you stronger and better." From that day on, Tina knew that mistakes were just a part of learning, and determination could turn any failure into something wonderful. Moral: practice and determination are the keys to success. Mistakes are not meant to stop you but to teach you.
Monty the monkey woke up, stretched, yawned, and suddenly screamed. "My tail, where's my tail?" He spun in circles, checking behind him. No tail. He ran to Parrot. "Have you seen my tail?" Parrot shrugged. "Did you check your bed?" Monty raced back home. Nothing. He checked the banana tree. No tail, but he ate 3 bananas anyway. He checked the river. No tail, but his reflection looked handsome. Finally, he sat on a rock and sighed. Suddenly something tapped his shoulder. Tap, tap, tap. Monty turned and screamed again. His tail had wrapped around the branch above, dangling like a snake. "I was attached the whole time," he shouted. His tail flicked him on the head. Parrot laughed so hard he fell off the tree. Monty marched home muttering, "From now on, I'm putting a bell on you."
Nina loved music more than anything. She hummed while eating, tapped rhythms on her desk, and dreamed of playing the big instruments she saw in books. One sunny afternoon, her class visited the school music room. There in the center stood a grand piano. It was shiny black and taller than Nina herself. Her eyes sparkled with wonder, but then she looked at her small hands and sighed. "I'm too small to play that," she whispered to herself. "My feet don't even touch the floor from the bench." Her music teacher, Ms. Rosie, noticed Nina's hesitation. She knelt down and said gently, "Nina, the size of the pianist doesn't matter. It's the size of the heart that plays the music. Would you like to try?" With a deep breath, Nina climbed onto the bench, with a little help from a cushion. At first, her fingers found only a few keys. The notes were soft, unsure. But they were her notes. She practiced every day. Sometimes the sounds were jumbled. Sometimes they flowed. But she never gave up. One Friday, Ms. Rosie asked if she'd like to play for her classmates. Nina's heart raced, but she nodded. As she played her little melody, something magical happened. Her friends began to smile, then sway, then clap along. When she finished, the room burst into happy cheers. Nina beamed. She had learned something wonderful. You don't need to be big to make something beautiful. You just need to begin. Benji loved flying kites. One sunny afternoon, he ran to the field with his favorite kite, excited to play alone. Suddenly, he heard a soft, sniffly sound. It was his friend Leo. "My kite is broken," Leo said sadly. Benji almost said, "Sorry, I'm busy playing." But something inside whispered, "Maybe I can help." He walked over and saw the broken kite. The frame was bent and the tail was torn. Benji rolled up his sleeves. "Let's fix it together," he said. They worked carefully, tying the tail and straightening the frame. Slowly, the kite looked whole again. Finally, they ran across the field and let the kite go. It soared high, dancing with the wind. Leo laughed with joy and Benji smiled too. Benji realized that helping someone felt even better than playing alone. From that day on, he found happiness in sharing, because kindness filled his heart with joy. Moral of the story: kindness and sharing bring more happiness than playing alone. Helping others fills your heart with true joy. In a bright green valley lived a curious little goat named Benji. He loved to explore, and his biggest dream was to climb the tall mountain that touched the clouds. One sunny morning, Benji decided, "Today's the day. I'm going to climb that mountain." He ran toward it and started climbing, but the rocks were slippery and he slid right back down. He tried again and slipped again. "Oh no," said Benji sadly. "This mountain is too hard to climb." Just then, his mother walked over and nuzzled him gently. Don't give up, Benji, she said. Big challenges need big thinking. Look for a different path. So Benji took a deep breath and looked at the mountain again. This time he noticed small steps in the rocks, strong roots to hold onto, and flat ledges where he could rest. I see, he said, and he started to climb, slowly and carefully, step by step by step. When he slipped, he didn't quit. He just stood up and kept going. After a long, brave climb, Benji finally reached the top of the mountain. He looked down and saw the whole valley spread out below like a green carpet. The clouds floated so close he felt he could hug them. I did it, he bleated happily. His heart felt big and proud. Benji learned that even the biggest, tallest challenges can be conquered if you are patient, clever, and never ever give up. Leo loved playing by the river, but there was one problem. He was scared of water. Even the smallest splash made him nervous. One sunny day, Leo's friend Mia said, "Come on, Leo. I'll teach you to swim." Leo hesitated. "But I'm scared," he whispered. Mia smiled. "It's okay to be scared. We can try bit by bit. Small steps lead to big success." Leo nodded and stepped into the shallow water. At first he just dipped his toes. Then he waded a little deeper, holding onto Mia's hands. Slowly he learned to float, kick, and paddle. Days passed and Leo practiced a little every day. Sometimes he slipped, sometimes he got water in his nose, but he never gave up. Finally, the day came when Leo swam across the river without any help. He felt proud, happy, and brave. He realized that trying bit by bit, even when scared, could lead to success. From that day on, Leo loved swimming and wasn't afraid of water anymore. Moral of the story: big successes begin with small, brave steps. It's okay to be scared, but don't let fear stop you from trying. Twinkle's lonely light. High up in the dark night sky, there was a little star named Twinkle. Twinkle was very bright and sparkly, but she felt all alone. The other stars were so far away they looked like tiny dots. Every night, Twinkle would flicker and shine by herself. She whispered, "I wish I had a friend to sparkle with." One evening, a soft, puffy cloud drifted past her. "Hello, little star," said the cloud. "Why do you shine by yourself? You look sad." "I am lonely," sighed Twinkle. "My light is just for me." The fluffy cloud had an idea. "Why don't you try sharing your light? Send it down to the world below." "Share it?" asked Twinkle. She wasn't sure. "Yes," said the cloud. "Give it a try." So Twinkle took a deep breath and let her light shine extra bright. She sent her sparkles beaming down to a little village on Earth. Down below, a little girl named Mia was looking out her window. She saw Twinkle's special gleam. "Oh," she said, "that star is winking at me." Mia smiled a big, happy smile. A farmer finishing his work looked up and saw Twinkle's gentle glow. It made him feel calm and peaceful. Even the moonflowers in a garden tilted their white faces upward, as if to say thank you for the lovely light. Twinkle saw all of this. She saw the smiles. She felt the calm. Her sparkle grew warmer and happier inside. By sharing her light, she wasn't lonely anymore. She had made friends with the whole world below. Now every single night, Twinkle shines her brightest. She knows a wonderful secret. When you share what you have, you light up the world, and you fill your own heart with joy. In a happy little garden, there lived a tiny seed named Sammy. Sammy was different from other seeds. While all the other seeds were eager to sprout and grow, Sammy just wasn't ready. He preferred to stay cozy, round, and snuggled deep in the soil. Every morning, Gardener Maya would visit and water all the plants. Seeing Sammy, she would say in a sweet voice, "Wake up, Sammy. Come on out. The sunshine is waiting for you." But Sammy wouldn't budge an inch. "I don't want to grow yet," he thought to himself. Slowly, all the seeds around him sprouted. Little green shoots popped up, and in no time they grew into beautiful flowers, bright red roses, sunny yellow daisies, and soft blue morning glories. They swayed in the breeze and chatted with butterflies. Sammy watched them and let out a tiny sigh. "They look so happy," he thought. But still he stayed tucked in the earth. Gardener Maya didn't give up. One day she sat near Sammy and whispered softly, "It's okay, Sammy. Everyone grows at their own time. I'll wait for you." Hearing this, Sammy felt a warm, happy feeling inside. Then one day, Sammy felt a little wiggle inside him. a strange new energy. He gave a gentle push, then a slightly bigger one. Suddenly, one morning, a tiny green tip appeared above the soil. It was Sammy. He was peeking out. Gardener Maya was overjoyed. Look, Sammy made it, she cheered. With warm sunshine, fresh raindrops, and Gardener Maya's smile, Sammy grew and grew. Every day he stretched a little taller. First came 2 leaves, then 4, and then a soft closed bud. And then one morning, pop, the bud opened. Sammy had turned into a beautiful bright orange flower. He was so radiant and special that the whole garden turned to look at him. Sammy smiled and said, I guess I just needed to bloom in my own time. The lesson: everyone grows and blooms at their own perfect time. With a little patience and lots of love, beautiful things happen. The Magical Christmas Cookie. There once was a little girl named Mia who loved Christmas. She loved it so much that her bakery was covered in twinkly lights, candy canes, and holly leaves. On a snowy evening, Mia decided to bake extra special cookies. She used sugar and spice and one secret ingredient she found in her grandma's old, dusty recipe book. When the cookies were warm from the oven, Mia took a tiny bite. She felt a warm, magical tingle from her head to her toes. She smiled and made a secret wish. I wish everyone could be happy this Christmas. The next day, something wonderful happened. A little boy found his lost toy car. A girl got a kind note that made her smile. A whole family shared a big happy hug. What did they all have in common? They had all eaten one of Mia's special cookies. Mia learned a secret. The real magic wasn't just in the cookies. It was in the kindness, love, and joy she shared with them. So Mia baked and baked. She gave her magical cookies to neighbors, friends, family, and even people she didn't know. She spread happiness everywhere. That Christmas, Mia learned the best magic of all. The best wishes are the ones you give to others with all your heart.
It was the night before Christmas at the North Pole. Santa was almost ready to go, but when he went to put on his favorite red hat, it was gone. Oh, snowflakes, Santa cried. Where's my hat? I can't deliver presents without it. Just then, 2 little elves named Tink and Tonk jumped out from behind a big pile of presents. We can help, Santa, they shouted together. Tink and Tonk zoomed into the snow. They looked everywhere. They searched the workshop, no hat. They looked in the reindeer barn, no hat. They checked the candy cane forest, still no hat. They slid on icy patches, got covered in fluffy snow, and even dodged some giggling snow sprites. Hold my hand, said Tink. We can find it if we work together. Then, by the big sleigh, they saw a flash of red. The hat was stuck in a big, curly pile of wrapping paper. Tink carefully pulled it free, and Tonk gently brushed off the sparkles. They ran back and put the hat right on Santa's head. It fit perfectly. Thank you, my wonderful elves. Santa boomed with a happy laugh. You did it. Teamwork and friendship saved Christmas. That night, Santa flew around the whole world, his warm hat snug on his head. And Tink and Tonk knew a special secret. When you work together with a friend, you can solve any problem. In a cozy little town, there lived a boy named Sam. Sam loved playing so much that he never wanted to go to bed. Every night, his mom would say, Sam, it's bedtime, but Sam would always reply, just 5 more minutes. One night, as Sam lay wide awake, he heard a soft whoosh, whoosh, outside his window. Curious, he peeked out and gasped. A small, friendly dragon with shining blue scales and sleepy golden eyes sat on his windowsill. Hello, Sam, the dragon yawned. I'm Draco, the bedtime dragon. I help children who have trouble going to sleep. Sam's eyes grew wide. A real dragon? You help with bedtime. Draco nodded. Sleep gives your body strength and fills your dreams with magic. Come on, I'll show you. With a gentle puff of warm, sparkly air, Draco lifted Sam onto his back. They flew into the night sky, past twinkling stars and glowing clouds. See that star? Draco pointed with his tail. It shines brighter when children get enough sleep. Sam watched in amazement as one star slowly faded. That star looks dim. That child stayed up too late, Draco said kindly. But don't worry, tomorrow it will shine again. Draco then flew Sam to the dream fields, where dreams grew like flowers. Beautiful dreams bloomed everywhere. Some looked like candy mountains, others like friendly animals. Every good dream grows from good rest, Draco explained. Sam felt his eyelids getting heavier. I think I'm sleepy. Draco smiled. That means I've done my job. He carried Sam back home and tucked him gently into bed. Sleep well, Sam. I'll be back if you need me. From that night on, Sam never argued about bedtime. He brushed his teeth, put on his pajamas, and slept early, hoping to see Draco again in his dreams. Moral: sleep is important. It helps you grow strong, stay happy, and dream beautifully.
Lily loved playing in the playground, but there was one thing she was afraid of: the tallest slide. It looked so high that her tummy felt funny just looking at it. Every day she watched other kids zoom down, laughing and cheering. I wish I could do that, she whispered. Question time. 1. Why do you think Lily's tummy felt funny when she looked at the tall slide? One sunny afternoon, her best friend Mia said, "Come on, Lily. You can do it." Lily shook her head. "I'm too scared." Mia held her hand and smiled. It's okay to be scared. But sometimes trying even when you're scared feels amazing. Question time. 2. Can you think of a time you felt scared to try something new? What was it? Taking a deep breath, Lily climbed the ladder slowly, one step at a time. Her heart beat fast and her legs wobbled. Finally, she reached the top. She looked down and felt nervous. Then she remembered Mia's words. "I can do this," she shouted. With a deep breath, Lily pushed off and zoomed down the slide. "Wee!" She laughed and laughed, feeling proud and brave. Question time. 3. How do you think Lily felt when she landed at the bottom of the slide? Can you describe her smile? From that day on, Lily knew that being scared didn't mean you couldn't try. Sometimes courage is just taking one step forward.
In a sun-drenched jungle clearing, Leo, the powerful lion, strides confidently, his muscles rippling with each step. With a proud gaze, Leo surveys his kingdom, a silent ruler amidst the symphony of chirping birds and rustling leaves. The jungle's tranquility is shattered as Ricky, a small red rooster, makes a sudden, audacious leap onto a rock. Ricky, perched atop the rock, puffs out his chest, preparing to challenge the jungle's serene atmosphere. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Ricky crows, his voice echoing through the jungle, a bold declaration in Leo's kingdom. In a sun-drenched jungle clearing, a symphony of chuckles and whispers rises from monkeys, parrots, and turtles. A monkey mimics Leo's terror, its exaggerated gestures sparking waves of laughter among the gathered animals. The sounds of animal laughter echo through the jungle, reaching Leo's ears like a mocking chorus. A turtle's voice rises above the din. How can the king of the jungle be scared of a rooster? Hunters stealthily enter the jungle, nets and traps in hand, their eyes scanning for any sign of life. The jungle grows silent as the animals sense the approaching danger, a primal fear gripping their hearts. I watch, paralyzed, as the hunters advance, their presence a looming threat. A roar builds within me, desperate to warn the others, but my voice remains trapped in my throat. Fear chokes me as the hunt begins, the jungle holding its breath, awaiting the inevitable clash. In a jungle clearing, Ricky stands atop a rock, his vibrant plumage bright against the green. He surveys the dense, shadowy jungle. Ricky spots hunters moving stealthily, their forms barely visible in the undergrowth. He takes a deep breath, preparing. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Ricky crows, his voice echoing. The hunters pause, startled. What was that? Cock-a-doodle-doo-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo-doo. Ricky continues to warn the jungle. The jungle explodes with a deafening cacophony as birds shriek and monkeys pound on trees. Hunters, disoriented by the overwhelming noise, drop their nets and traps in a wild panic. They stumble and flee, desperate to escape the jungle's sudden fury. The animals erupt in cheers, their triumphant cries echoing through the trees. A wave of relief washes over the jungle, gratitude mingling with the vibrant sounds of nature. In a sun-drenched jungle clearing, Leo approaches Ricky, bowing his head in humble respect. Leo says, his voice filled with remorse. "I'm sorry. I was scared of you." Leo continues, acknowledging Ricky's bravery. "Your small voice saved us all." Ricky responds with wisdom. "Everyone is afraid of something, but even small voices can be very brave." Leo still jumps when Ricky crows, but now understands true courage, smiling at his little friend.
Daniel had a beautiful magic mirror in his room. It was not an ordinary mirror. Whenever Daniel spoke the truth, the mirror shone brightly like the sun, filling his room with a warm golden light. One day, while playing with his toy airplane, Daniel accidentally knocked over his mother's favorite flower pot. It crashed to the floor. He felt scared and decided not to tell anyone what happened. That evening, when Daniel looked into his magic mirror, something was wrong. The light was gone. The glass was dark and dull like a cloudy day. Daniel felt a knot in his tummy and very, very sad. Then he understood. The mirror had turned dark because he had told a lie by staying quiet. He took a deep breath, found his mother, and said, "Mom, I have something to tell you. I am sorry. I broke the flower pot by mistake when I was playing." His mother smiled a kind smile. She gave him a hug and said, "Thank you for telling me the truth, Daniel. That makes me very proud." Daniel ran back to his room and looked at the mirror. Whoosh! It was shining again, even brighter than before. The happy golden light bounced all over the walls. Daniel grinned from ear to ear. He learned that telling the truth might feel scary first, but it always brings back the sunshine and makes your heart feel light and happy. One sunny afternoon, Jake went to his friend Lily's house to play. Lily had a special new toy, a shiny red car. It was her favorite. Jake loved the little car. "Vroom vroom," he said, racing it on the floor. But oh no, the car slipped from his hands and broke into two pieces. Jake's heart went thump thump thump. He felt very scared. Lily will be so angry with me, he thought. He took a big breath. Bravely, he looked at Lily and said, "I am really, really sorry, Lily. I broke your toy by mistake." Lily looked at her broken car. Then she looked at Jake's worried face. She gave a small smile and said, "It's okay, Jake. Thank you for saying sorry. Accidents happen." Together, they found some sticky tape. They carefully taped the car back together. Soon, the red car was ready to zoom again. "Hooray!" they shouted. Jake and Lily spent the rest of the day playing happily. Jake learned a big lesson that day. A brave sorry can fix mistakes and make friendship shine even brighter. One day at school, Ria was sitting in her classroom and getting ready for her lesson. Suddenly, she saw a shiny, colorful, and very beautiful pencil under her desk. Ria picked up the pencil and thought, "Wow, this pencil is so nice. I will keep it." Just then, she saw her friend Aman talking to the teacher. Aman looked sad and worried. Aman said, "I lost my new pencil. It was my favorite one." Ria immediately understood that the pencil belonged to Aman. She felt a little sorry, but she decided to do the right thing. She went to Aman and, holding out the pencil, said, "Aman, is this your pencil?" Aman's eyes lit up with joy. He said, "Yes. Thank you so much, Ria." Ria smiled too. She felt a warm glow of pride and happiness inside because she knew she had done the right thing. Moral: truthfulness and honesty are the greatest treasures. Once upon a time, in a beautiful green forest, there lived a rabbit named Benny. Benny was very fond of carrots. He loved them more than anything else in the world. Every day, Benny hopped around the forest and collected fresh carrots. He gathered many carrots and hid them inside his burrow. Benny never shared his carrots with anyone. Whenever other animals asked him for food, Benny would say, "No, these are mine. I worked hard to collect them." One day, the weather began to change. Cold winds started blowing and soon winter arrived. Snow covered the forest and food became hard to find. Benny went to his burrow to eat his carrots, but sadly, many of them were spoiled and missing. Benny felt very hungry and scared. His stomach growled and he realized his mistake. Slowly, he went to his animal friends and said, "I am sorry. I should have shared with you. Can you please help me?" The animals remembered Benny's behavior, but they were kind. The squirrel shared nuts, the deer shared leaves, and the birds brought berries for Benny. Benny felt warm and happy again. He thanked everyone and promised, "From today, I will always share." When spring came, Benny kept his promise. He shared his carrots happily, and he made many friends. Benny learned that sharing makes life joyful. Moral: sharing brings friendship and help when you need it. Tommy was a cute little dog. He wore a shiny courage button around his neck. Whenever Tommy touched that button, he felt like he had all the courage in the world. One day, while playing, the button came loose and got lost somewhere in the grass. Oh no! Tommy got very scared. He sat down and started to cry. "My button is lost. How will I be brave now?" After that day, Tommy started getting scared of everything. Even a dark room. Even the rumble of thunder. Even a tiny little pothole on the road. Just then he heard a sad mama sound. He saw a tiny little kitten stuck on a high tree branch. It couldn't get down and was trembling with fear. Tommy thought, "I don't even have my courage button. But who will help this kitten?" Then he took a deep breath. Forgetting about the button, he quickly ran towards the tree. He barked loudly, "Woof, woof," to give the kitten some courage. Then he jumped high. Finally, he managed to get the little kitten safely down. The kitten jumped with joy. "Tommy, you saved my life. You are so brave." Tommy said sadly, "But I'm not brave. My special button is lost." Then the kitten smiled and took Tommy's paw in her tiny paws. She said, "Look, Tommy, you helped me without any button. That means the courage was inside you all along. That button was just for show." Hearing this, Tommy's eyes lit up. He realized the kitten was right. He had discovered that true courage comes from inside. After that day, Tommy was never scared again. Once upon a time, in a green jungle full of tall trees, lived a